So what I want to begin doing is creating a weekly video series about how to use catechisms devotionally. So maybe you're not familiar with a catechism, probably because you're a Baptist. So let me just fill you in on what they are and how you typically use them, and then how I think I'd like to try using them in this video series. So catechisms have been around since the late Middle Ages for Christians, and it was a way to orally pass down or orally teach in a succinct and systematic way the truths of Christianity. So it sought to summarize key elements of the Bible or key theological teachings to children and adult converts. And in doing so, it gave them a structure or categories or even like a lens to view the world by. The first question from the New City Catechism Children's Edition is, what is our only hope in life and death? And the child would answer that we are not our own, but belong to God. And so it begins to frame the mind on how to begin to interpret the world around you. And that's really the point of catechisms. It teaches you what are the important points of the Christian faith, supported by the Bible in a really systematic fashion, and gives you those categories to interpret the world, or lenses to view the world accurately through a biblical lens. That's the goal of catechisms. Typically, you would memorize the entire thing. There'd be a question, you'd have an answer, and then once it's mastered, you'd go to the next question, or the next week would be a new question. One way that I have found to really enjoy catechisms and to get into them is to use them devotionally. So there's lots of times when you might have a mental roadblock. You come to the Bible, or you want to devote some time to prayer and you have a mental roadblock, or you have a heart roadblock. A catechism gives you a chance to look at a question, begin to kind of chew on it in your mind, think about it, look at the answer, mull that over, wrestle with the answer, and then look at the scripture that supports the answer. And by that point, it's really like the fog has been burned away, right? The fog of your mind, the fog of your heart has been burned away, and it really kind of prepares the path for study, for reading, for prayer. And so the devotional catechism is what I think we'll end up calling this series. And my goal is to have each week a new question that I like looking at, or that someone in the comments has suggested that we look at, and just briefly, under 5-4 minutes, expose you to the question, look at the answer, and then I'm going to point out one or two things that I think are really relevant or helpful to get us thinking more about these things, and also to kind of just expose us to lots of different types of catechisms that we might find are helpful. So if you're a Baptist and you're still watching, by now hopefully you realize it's not just a Catholic thing, right? Protestants have a rich history, biblically centered, theologically rich catechisms, and we're going to be exploring them. I'd love for you to like this video, subscribe, but most importantly, fill up my comment section with what types of catechisms have been really encouraging to you or challenging to you, or if you have specific questions from specific catechisms that we should look at, go ahead and leave those, and we'll start doing this together on a weekly basis. I'll see you in the next videos.